Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Nahara. I am from Texas and I will be doing chit chat get ready with me video, kind of like my intro to YouTube, and yeah. So if you're interested, keep watching, and here we go. First, I'm going to prime my face with my Mario, however you pronounce his last name, I don't know, but just to wake my face up. And then I like to go in with just my pawns. I'm gonna go in with that and just kind of moisturize my face. And yeah, so YouTube. First and foremost, I have done YouTube about a third time, like officially starting a page. I had a page back in high school. I think that's when I first started like my official YouTube channel, and I started like a partner channel with a friend that I had at the time, and like we had a really brilliant idea, but we just didn't have like the tools, I don't think, to execute what we wanted to do. I'm gonna go in with my Milk blur stick, and this is just gonna be my primer for today. I don't feel like using a liquid primer, so yeah, so we had, you know, the right idea, and it worked for a good few months, and then it just kind of fell off because we were in high school and like we just didn't have the tools to like properly execute a YouTube channel. Also, we were like jobless and just like your average everyday high schoolers. I'm also just like probably gonna apply this to my T-zone where I like have a lot of oil, and that's it. I don't really want to prime my entire face, which I know I should, but I ain't got time. So after that, I just was like not interested in YouTube like that. I mean, I've always been a fan, like I've just always been into watching other people, but just never really like had the, I don't even know what the word is. I think I didn't have the grit I needed to like sustain a channel, right? So I just went on about my life, and also I was just extremely busy in high school. I mean, I barely slept. So now that I have more time, I'm like, why not? Okay, sorry. Had to like fix everything. I like kicked my camera over and I wasn't sure if I was recording anymore or whatever, but okay, we're back. So yes, YouTube didn't work out for me in high school, but I had the drive. I didn't have the consistency or the time. I'm gonna do my eyebrows now. So basically after that I went to college and you know, did what you do in college. I had fun, and you know, at the time was like in a relationship, so was like kind of occupied with whatever that was. And then, you know, it was like my first time like not being super busy, so I was like, you know, I'm going to start a YouTube channel again, and I'm gonna this time do it by myself and be really serious about it, which I really was. I was so serious about it, and I actually got a lot of content out and was doing it with my partner at the time, and he, you know, he was really helpful, and you know, he would like help me sometimes with editing and stuff. And so at that point I was like invested. I was like, okay, this is it, this is what I'm gonna do. I think this was like around 2016, 2017. So at this point I'm like highly invested into YouTube, and you know, just doing like stuff on my channel. And I feel like now it's like super common for people to start a page because, you know, people hear that you can make money on YouTube, but I was just like genuinely like enamored with the craft, like that is YouTube, producing content that like people watch, especially like girls that, you know, look like me or whatever, like non-conventional beauty. And so basically that went on for a few months, and I was pumping out videos like hotcakes, you know. I was getting it done and doing what I needed to do to have a successful page. And I was investing all of my time and energy. So I'm gonna do my kind of the fronts of my eyebrows with the lighter brown so it can look a little bit more natural, because I do my eyebrows pretty dark. But anyway, so yeah, I was invested and was doing, you know, something that I liked to do. However, it just, again, things picked up, and I got really involved on campus at the time. I joined all of these organizations, and then, like, you know, that just kind of took up my time, because one thing people don't talk about in YouTube is it's extremely time consuming, because, I mean, you sit down, you're recording, you're checking your lighting, you're doing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you look up and hours have gone by, and then you're just like, well, dang, I still have to write a paper. So, like, that was kind of like my dilemma at the time. I just had a lot going on. And then, like, kind of too, like, I went through, you know, a breakup, and that took a toll on my, I think, you know, just my priorities at the time. I was like, you know what, like, I gotta live my best life right now. You only have so much time in college, and then it's like real world. And so I was like, YouTube is just not it for me right now. And I think that was a really hard decision for me to make, but I was happier doing that at the time, because one thing for sure too, I'm just gonna go in and kind of do my eyebrows with my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Deep. I'm just gonna kind of outline my eyebrows. But yeah, so I was just like, I'm gonna live my best life, and I don't have time for anything else at this point. And you know, I enjoyed my last few years, 2 years, or a year actually, of college. I was like having a great time, and I was studying abroad and meeting new friends and doing everything that I should have been doing in the first place in college, but was like not. And so, you know, that's where I am now. Or that's not where I am now. That's where I was then. And then, child, I graduated. And graduation, when I got to college, I knew that I had some form of anxiety, because college is also a very stressful time in a young person's life, but it's a little bit more manageable, I think, because college is like, I think a bubble. I think you're kind of enclosed in like this different world when you're in college. It's like everybody's kind of on the same wavelength, even if everybody's doing something different. Like, you know, everybody kind of understands where everybody's coming from, because we're all stressed about, you know, this exam and that exam or whatever. I graduate college and join this organization called Teach for America, right? And I'm super excited because it's an opportunity for me to like do something that I'm, you know, passionate about, which is service. Like, I'm just when it comes to service, like, that's just kind of been my thing. As long as I could remember, I've been volunteering since I was a little girl. And so the fact that I got to do that as a career, you know, it wasn't volunteer, it's obviously a job, I'm teaching, but it's in a low income area. The fact that I was able to do that straight out of college was like a win-win for me, right? Or so I thought. I graduated and I packed up my things. I'm looking for my blending brush. So I'm going to take my LA Colors brush and blend out the concealer that I've done on my eyebrows. So, anywho, I'm thinking, you know, yay, I get to like go teach in like another state and like kind of like leave the nest for sure. I mean, I did in college, but like I was leaving the state where my family is from. Like, I am no longer going to be in Texas. And so that was another big jump for me. And I did that. So this past May, after I graduated, I went straight to training in Chicago, where I teach now. and basically like left home. And so that was really hard. So I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty foundation, and we're gonna get to it. I came to the state, and like it's so funny, we stayed in a dorm like with all these new people's like college all over again. And yeah, so we came and we were living, or I was living in this dorm with like all of these other like kids who had just gotten out of college. And this looks really light. Anyway, all these kids who had just gotten out of college and kind of were on the same journey, like kids from all over the place. So during the day we're like training, being good kids, doing what we're supposed to do, but like when the clock like struck 9 o'clock, it was like we was doing our own thing, and so we was teed up all night long, every night, just having the time of our lives with no responsibilities outside of like Teach for America. So again, like another kind of like, essentially like I left one bubble and went to another bubble. And so it was just kind of really interesting, I would say, to navigate. It was really interesting to navigate. So I'm like still on cloud 9 because I'm like, wow, I'm really about to start my own life in another city, like outside my family. And like being a first generation college student, that's just unheard of for me. Like, I mean, I have ambition, but like I'm kind of the blueprint of my own like reality in a way, like the blueprint of myself, the blueprint of like my family, because I'm the first to do this in my immediate family anyway. I'm gonna go wet this. I hate when I forget. Thinking, yeah, this is gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to, this is gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to see a lot of stuff that I'm like not used to seeing, obviously, but I know for a fact that like it's gonna be a good time, or so I thought. Again, y'all, I went back home after training, right, to move out of my, I went back home after training to move out of my apartment back in Texas, because it was only like a 6 weeks training, and said like my official goodbye to my loved ones, to my friends and family, and then basically got my dog, purchased a new vehicle on my own. That is like one of my biggest flexes, I would say. One of my biggest flexes of 2019. I was super proud of that. Got my dog, packed up my apartment, and got on the road and drove all the way from Texas to Chicago by myself. When I tell y'all, that was like one of the most terrifying things I've ever done in my life. And like, but also like one of the most like, dang, like I did that moments I've ever had. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about doing something independently, like as a young woman, without the help of like anybody else, that just makes you feel so empowered. So like I came up here feeling really good about myself, like if I can handle traveling to another city by myself, across the country, not even just another city, like cross country by myself, I can conquer the world, basically, was my mindset. So I'm coming here very optimistic, life's good, blah 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 blah. Again, school hasn't started yet, we're still in training. We get to this point of like moving into our apartment. So I have 3 roommates, and all 3 of us met in training. We were the ones who was kicking it all the time, out on the scene in Chicago at night, after training. So we met, we lived together over the summer. So we were like, why not just let us live together and for our teaching years as well. So we all live together, and we're all from different parts of the country. I'm from Texas, one is from Florida, one is from Tennessee, and the other's from New York. So we're all from different places. And, you know, we get settled or whatever, and then school starts. And when I tell y'all, I've been through a lot in my life. I've done a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things. This is by far the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I cannot stress that enough. Like, it's pushed me in so many ways that I've just been like, whoa, 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 whoa. First of all, post-graduation depression is real. You graduate college and you see all your friends still living their best life in college, having fun, going out, going to parties, and you are either at home, because that's what happens, you either go back home to your family, which is nothing wrong with, because that's where I was finna be, or you find a job and live by yourself and be miserable, or with like a roommate, and like that's what I experienced. I was like super depressed, like started experiencing like the worst panic attacks I've ever had in my entire life, just like the worst of the worst. And it really pushed me to my limit, and I just got to a point where me and my mom were really close, and I was just talking to her, and I was like, you know, it's just time for me to get help, because I can't get to a place of like darkness past this level. I can't get worse. I can only get better. So I got a therapist, and she helped me a lot, and she's still helping me. I still see her. She diagnosed me with like general anxiety, which is like the first time I've ever been like officially diagnosed with something. And like she is also a social worker, so like she kind of experiences, like, not kind of, she does experiences like the same things that I've gone through as an educator, because she taught she does social work in Chicago. Oh, now I'm gonna powder my face. This makeup is gonna be really like simple, because I don't do a lot when I just like have a basic look. When I'm doing like this is like my everyday makeup go-to. I'm not finna like get glam. I guess you could say this is a soft glam, but this isn't really even glam. This is just like a basic everyday. My video stopped recording, y'all, my bad. But so yeah, my therapist, she just gets it. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better person. She understands. Like, I'm like, oh my god, this happened at work, and she's like, I identify with that. I validate your experience, because the same thing happened to me like 5 years ago when I was working in Chicago public schools. So I will say, like, it was just like a time of darkness, because in addition to teaching, I'm getting my master's degree. So it's like a lot. Oh, I didn't show y'all what I was doing. So I'm just powdering my face with this Fit Me finishing powder, and it's in the shade medium deep. My makeup always says deep or medium or tan, honey, something. So she's just constantly validating my experience, which, like, you just cannot get that like on the streets. You just can't, like, or just from like average people. You just need someone. And so thank God I have a job, you know, where like I can afford, you know, therapy. So things just kept getting worse. So in addition to teaching, I'm getting my master's degree. I go quarterly and I teach simultaneously. And when I tell you, like, I thought that like the stuff that I was doing was hard in college. There's nothing like going to school and having like a full-time, like 40-hour plus week at the same time. There's just nothing. I can't even describe. Like, at one point, I just told my therapist, I was like, it feels like I'm drowning. Like, I didn't have time for myself. I would get up 5 o'clock in the morning, get ready, go to work, come home, and like, while on top of like having to lesson plan and prepare for my students, I was also like working on assignments for school. So it's just nothing like what I'm experiencing. It's really not. But all in all, like, I will say, like, it has just been a great learning experience. It's just shown me, like, you know, I'm a lot more capable of things than I thought I was. I'm stronger than I thought I was. I sound corny, but like it's real. I'm being real. So after that, like, we went on strike. Chicago public schools teachers went on strike for 11 days. When you go on strike, you're not getting paid. I was already broke in college. I said, I can't be broke here. What's going on? What's going on? So it was just like 11 days of like not having a paycheck, and like that affects like future paychecks. So it took me like 3 months to like financially recover. It was just like, again, like I just kept getting hit. Like it was like thing after thing after thing, conflict, depression, sadness, all the things. So I just finished my face, like the base. So I'm gonna do my eyeliner and then my lashes, and I'm pretty much done. I told y'all I don't do much. I really like the e.l.f. I really like the e.l.f. liquid liner. I wish this would focus. I hate when people do this, but it's literally not focusing. First of all, oh, you see it in my time. Yeah, it was just like a really dark time, but you know, you recover. So I recovered and things got a little bit better. I just like, I was here and I was like, I can't believe I'm broke again. Like, it's just like having finally a salary paying job and then getting to a place of like, okay, I'm comfortable. I can start doing what I want to do for me. And then they're like, boom, strike. And I was like, okay, fight the power, yes, love all of that. But I gotta eat. I gotta take care of myself. I have bills. What am I supposed to do? Okay, so I just did my liner. The wings are, this one's going up and this one's going out. I don't care because lashes cover that anyway. Yeah, I was broke, sad, depressed, down and out. No friends here, no family here. Just like literally, I felt like I was being stripped of my identity for like 6 months straight. It was just terrible. But I'm just a firm believer in like when you go through those kinds of things, like it's literally, I know this is so corny to say, but like, you know, literally the only place you can go is like up. Like when the worst things happen, like it's just like, okay, are you done? Can I like get back with my life so I can like keep it moving? So I'm gonna use these little faux mink 3D lashes. You know, we all about like, you know, not being cruel to the animals and whatnot. So it's like faux mink because, you know, you gotta say like the little minky minks, the mink babies or whatever. They are the which ones are these? Child, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. I tried to be, you know, like, hey, I know the name of everything. I got these at the beauty supply. I don't spend a lot of money. These were $2.99 and I'm not gonna front like they weren't. So I don't even know why I just tried that. You know, $2.99 faux mink. Here you go. Anyways, after things got the worst possible way that they could get, they got better. And that was partially because I was waiting for Christmas break to happen. You know, one nice thing about the break was like, it's just like a nice time, I think, to be home with your family and, you know, just like chill out. And like, it was the first time I didn't have to like worry about, you know, lesson planning, schoolwork, all of that. So I'm saying this all to say, I had a revelation of like, why am I not doing something that I like? I'm a student. I love learning from my students. They teach me so much about myself and just about life, you know, as young as they are. And so I love learning. So I enjoy, you know, going to school. I do. It was just so much at one time. You're dealing with the transition blues and, you know, not having loved ones, all of that. So it was just hard. So I was like, what am I doing for fun? Like, what am I doing that I'm passionate about? What am I working towards as far as goals outside of like my education? Because I mean, I feel like so many times, like as students, as first generation students, we have a tendency to have tunnel vision. We know that we are not just pulling our own weight. We're pulling the weight of our parents, the weight of our grandparents, the weight of our family's legacy, and we want to do so many great things. And you know, especially like being a Black person, like you just want to be great, and you forget like I'm a human and I need to take care of myself, like point blank period. And I was not doing that. And when I say take care of myself, I mean in the sense of like what I want. Well, I wasn't doing anything for fun. My therapist would say, well, what do you do for fun? And my answer was work out. She was like, work out? That's cool and all, but like that's too close to like a kind of like a requirement for yourself. You need to do something that like requires no type of like angst or like, you know, something that's just completely out of your realm. And guess what popped up in my head? YouTube. Y'all, let me tell you something. YouTube has been popping up subliminally since I stopped back in like 2017, 2018. It just keeps coming up through like messages, through like signs. I just kept getting signs like YouTube for like 2 years straight, and I just kept avoiding it because you tell yourself, well, you know, I'm still too big, or I'm not pretty enough, or I still have acne scars. I gotta get rid of that first before I can get on camera. Or, you know, just like, at least that's what I was telling myself. And I just finally was like, if I don't start now, I never will. And so, like, here we are. I decided that, like, let's do it. I had already had all the equipment that I needed. I had the lighting because I have a vanity that I'm sitting in front of right now. Like, everything was there and blind. It was like in plain sight in front of me. Like, I had the equipment. And because I was so in my head about so many other things and so much other stuff, like, I just let those things fall. I let YouTube fall through the cracks. I let something that I was passionate about fall through the cracks. And like, not even like, I like makeup, but like, this is not something that I want to do like only for my YouTube channel. My battery's low. Hold up. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I had to switch out my battery because my camera was about to die. Page like a few years ago was that I had to do makeup because like that's what was really hot. Like I think 2017, 2018, like everybody was just like on this makeup wave. And while I do love makeup still, like that's not all I want to do on my channel. Like I like recently like lost like a lot of weight doing keto, so like I would love to do like a health video on like how to like, you know, kickstart like maybe a weight loss journey. Like there's just a lot of stuff that I'm interested in doing, and that, you know, I know that I'm going to have to do in order to be a content creator if I want to take this, if this is something that I really want to do, if I want to take this seriously. So yeah, I'm about to put these beauty supply store lashes on. So I used to wonder, like, before I was like editing my own videos, like how, you know how they speed up those makeup tutorials on Instagram? I used to wonder, I was like, dang, how they get their lashes on so fast? Not knowing that like it's just sped up, because like it takes time. I need to put this other lash on, and we're gonna call it a day. Hey. And you know what's funny too? This is another thing I wanted to make very clear. I had been telling myself, like, because I kind of pulled myself up out of my little funk around November. Around November. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to make my first YouTube channel back. My like resurgence video is going to be, you know, the weekend of like Thanksgiving break, because I'll have time and, you know, I have all my equipment. And child, I literally did not record that time because I was like, my hair's not done. And I was like, first of all, what does it mean to have your hair done? Because I have beautiful natural hair, you know what I'm saying? I could have easily filmed with my natural hair, but like, again, we have these ideas of like what the perfect start is, and I don't think that there's such thing as like a perfect start. I think what the beauty is in is like starting and realize, like, I know this video is probably not going to be great. Like, it's going to be the best that I could do for myself on January 11th, 2020. Who knows what it's going to look like May of 2020, you know, like, but I just have to give myself that opportunity to try for myself. I have to, or it'll never happen. I have to, or it'll never happen. This was like a very short, it's not even short, it's like a very summarized version of my life. I have so many stories. I would love to do like maybe some story time mukbangs or whatever. I have a lot of friends that I've met here who are super, like, some of the most interesting people I've ever met. I can meet them, I can bring them on, we can talk, like, chit chat. I can talk about what it's like to be a teacher, a 22-year-old teacher in the city. My lash is definitely lifting on the inner corner. Can you tell? Can you tell? If you can't, oh well, like, I don't even care. So, time to do my little lippy. So I'm going to take this guy here. I'm going to take my little stick from Fenty. And I'm going to take this little guy. I'm just going to line my lips with it. This doubles great as a lip liner. But yeah, so, like, I think, like, starting fresh, like, I'm just very proud of myself because this took a lot. Like, I'm, like, I feel very subconscious right now. I feel subconscious. I feel self-conscious a little bit because, like, this takes a lot. I'm, like, looking at myself and I'm like, oh, is this how I really look when I'm talking? Like, just kind of picking myself apart right now, but I think this is gonna help me. Boop. And that's on period. And I'm gonna take this really beautiful lipstick that I have had for a while. I literally do not know where this came from. I think it was a gift, but I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of do this little number. I'm gonna take my Fenty lip gloss. We Fenty'd out over here, honey. I just like to pat this in the center because it is a lighter lip gloss, and I find that when I run over the brown part, it kind of makes it run together in a way that I don't like. We're going to put some mascara on these lashes. There's like a blizzard outside right now too, which is like, Chicago is kind of crazy, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I can talk about that too, my experiences in Chicago, because it's so different than, you know, that of Texas. So different. The people are different. And I don't even want to say it's in a bad way. I just think, like, it's just so interesting to me how we all live in the same country, but, like, across state lines, like, people are just culturally so different. Like, the cultural norms here, I'm like y'all real rude. Let that set, baby. Straighten her out a little bit. What do y'all prefer? Lace or leave out? I prefer leave out. I just, no matter how hard we try, I don't care how transparent the lace is. It just looks like a screen door. And I get closures every now and again, and I after like day 3, I'm like, get this screen door out of my head. And then I can feel people looking at it trying to like size up my lace. And I don't like that. I don't like it. I think I'm going to start uploading on Sundays. I like the idea of uploading Sundays. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is kind of like my go-to look. I don't do a lot. Eyebrows, face, highlight, contour, powder, lips, lash. Boom. We're done. You're done. Yeah, I think that's it. Please subscribe to my channel. I feel so weird saying that, but if I don't ask, you won't do it. So subscribe, like, thumbs up, and make sure y'all follow my socials. I'll have them all in the description. Also, comment your word for 2020. My word is intentionality. That is my motto for the year. I want to be intentional with everything that I'm taking in and putting out. I want to be intentional about the work that I'm doing. I want to be intentional about everything that I put out into the world. So that is kind of like my word. So comment down below what your word for the year is. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you continue to watch and come back next week. Thank you. Bye.